Welcome to Compas on the Beat. It's Lunes live. It's the overreaction Lunes show after NFL Week 15. I keep losing track of the weeks here, but we're coasting through the NFL season. And yeah, the guy you're seeing right there is not Fernando. I see a nameplate that says Fernando. Fernando Mendoza? No, that's not him. That's Victor Corona. Our Fernando Ramirez is somewhere I don't really know, but he's going to join us in a bit with the boys. But uh, Fernando, I'm going to give you this introduction. You're like John Cena, never seen, right? 17, never seen. So where are you? Are you somewhere around with the audio? Because we can't see you.
Yeah, I'm somewhere around. I'm just not able. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we could
Okay,
hear you,
cool.
but we can't see you. You
Yeah.
can't see me
Yeah,
for the
no,
last time.
never seen 17. I know it was an interesting time on Saturday, but yeah, no, I am around. I'm just not able to jump on camera, but definitely appreciate Vic for stepping in, and I will be here in audio only.
Okay, that's fine. People want to see my mustache and Victor's beard, so no worries, Fernando. They do want to see your good hair and your good looks, but we'll wait for another day. I feel like you're making people wait here, but it's okay. Well, you'll be back, I think, tomorrow for Four Compas, and I'm sure, honestly, more people want to see you because of that giant victory for the Chargers at Arrowhead Stadium. Even for the other LA team, it did well. The Rams beat the Lions, so a lot going on in NFL Week 15, but one thing, since I'm not used to hosting Lunes Live, if I forget something, Victor Fernando,
Yes.
make sure you take care of me. You guys are my backups because I'm the star of the show, right? Anyways, on that note, for the engagement question of the week, most impressive victory in Week 15, Bo Nix and the Packers. So sorry, Bo Nix and the Broncos. No, that's not. No, most impressive performance is not Danny Diego. I have not seen that guy in a month. So what performance are we talking about? But Bo Nix did beat the Packers. The Broncos are now 12-2. The Rams beat the Lions. The Chargers beat the Chiefs. The Bills beat the Patriots. Man, there was a lot going on. The Saints beat the Panthers. The Panthers were pathetic. The Vikings beat the Cowboys. Let me know the most impressive victory in NFL Week 15 in the comments. If you want to say the
The
LA team,
emergence of
go
Kyle
ahead.
Pitts.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that one. Kyle Pitts waiting into the final month of his rookie year. Sorry, his rookie contract, 5-year rookie contract, to break out and dominate. And I apologize, Kirk Cousins. I thought you were done. You had a lot to offer. Oh, Phillip Rivers has something to offer. He kept it close in Seattle, so a lot went on in a kind of a sneaky week in the NFL. I don't think it was that great, but there were just so many storylines to consume that we're going to talk about here on Lunes Time. Oh, I don't know who's at the keys because again, I don't know who's doing the hosting today. But is that for the Broncos? Because I think they've proven a lot this season so far. But anyways, if anybody wants to chime in, Fernando or Victor, go ahead. But to me, it has to be Broncos over the Packers.
I'll wait for Fernando, and then I'll go last year. I want to hear what he has to say. Was the most impressive win in Week 15?
Look, I keep on telling people Buffalo can go anywhere and they can beat anybody. I was really impressed with that 21-point turnaround. Now, I understand why did they get down to 21 points because of I don't want to say laziness, but they do this in a lot of away games. They get down early, they try and come back, and they won the game. You can't expect to win games like that when you keep on doing it. So, but I'm definitely impressed with Buffalo. I think Buffalo can go into Denver and beat Denver. I think Buffalo can go into other places and beat teams if they're the away team. I thought yesterday proved that they're getting hot at the right time when it comes to their offense. Their defense needs a lot of work, but they're offensively, I think they're getting hot at the right time.
Don't forget about Houston, Fernando. I know you're not around, but you're forgetting stuff. Houston definitely has that team's number.
Oh, no, I get it, but we don't know if Houston's going to host a playoff game or not. Like, as of right now, it's Jacksonville that's hosting,
Yeah,
so they can go into Jacksonville and beat Jacksonville.
I guess that's fair, but I think that defense will travel to Buffalo in the snow. But yeah, having to face Josh Allen in the snow would be a pretty tough task for any team. I get it. I'm still, you know what? You could ring the alarm for me because I think the Bills are still frauds. But hey, it's falling down 21-0.
I still think Denver are frauds. How many drop interceptions didn't the Packers DBs have yesterday? They had 4 dropped
Yeah.
three legit dropped interceptions, and I'm like, dude, any other corner makes that pick. But I know it's nitpicking, but at this point, we're gonna nitpick each team that's in the playoffs right now.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Victor, before I give you guys my
Yeah,
thoughts.
there was a lot of things to be impressive about. Yes, as Fernando brought up the Bills, but I thought the Rams getting down in the game and going down, what was it, 10 points, and then coming back and scoring 20 unanswered points and kind of changing the game there in the middle of the first half. I just thought what they've done has been impressive, and I still don't think they're the most complete team. They just are the best team right now. We'll see what happens the rest of the season. It sets up a big game on Thursday though, but
By the
I
way,
was impressed with what they did.
Ian Rappaport tweeted out that Davante Adams is week to week, so they're basically ruling him out of Wednesday's game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Thursday against Seattle.
Thursday, I apologize.
We'll get to the Davante Adams thing when we touch on the Rams beating the Lions but what you said, Victor, I don't even know if there's a complete team in the NFL. We could find something for every team. I still think that Rams secondary is a problem, but when you have an offense like that, you can mask that issue in the secondary. The Broncos, I think,
the pass
seem
rush.
complete.
Their pass rush is crazy.
Yeah, they've been absent, and Victor brought up a good point. They've kind of been focusing more on stopping the run. They're taking away something, but even before that, their pass rush hasn't been that good. So I'm definitely that's on my radar for sure. I've been calling out that front for a while now. But the Broncos kind of seem like the most complete team, but it's like their offense is not as great as the Rams, and then their defense is pretty good. But I don't think they're better than Houston though. It's like they have a lot of really good areas, but it's not like something that is very elite. Maybe I'm overlooking that defense. That defense is very good too, but I like Houston's better. That's why I feel like I give them more of a chance than Denver. But I'm done calling Denver a fraud here. I think it's wide open. And yeah, it will be fun to watch Josh Allen's offense against Denver's defense, or Josh Allen get another crack at Houston again. But we could dive into all that later on, and then we also
Real quick,
have.
I think it's because Houston is nasty. Houston is I don't want to call them dirty, but they have like a mean streak. Denver's defense doesn't have that. They don't have that mean streak. Even the Chargers, the last 2 games have showed that mean streak. Chiefs fans are calling them dirty. Like you need that kind of intensity in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting to talk to your brother, because they finally got the bad guys, and people are giving me crap here on the show or even on TikTok for saying Herbert's a jerk, and I'm like, who cares? Like, they're the bad guys. They're the Pistons of the 80s. Like, embrace it, man. Go ahead and play dirty games. Go ahead and play in a 16-13 game. Go ruffle some feathers. Go piss off the opposing fan base. I'm with it, Fernando. So I think that, and we've been talking about it. I think a defensive team is going to win the Super Bowl. So if you're the one that's gritty, physical, talking trash, shout out to Phillip Rivers, I think you have an advantage this season.
I don't think Phillip talked all that much trash yesterday because he was too busy kind of trying to run away. So there wasn't a lot of trash talking. But I do think that Shane needs to open up the playbook on Monday. They're going to need to push that ball down the field. They can't do this little Mickey Mouse offense that they tried on Sunday, because it's not going to work, especially against a team like San Francisco.
Yeah, that was just a wild game to watch. And I found myself like just glued to the TV screen for the first drive of Rivers. And even though there was like Packers, Broncos, and Lions, Rams, like I wanted to watch that game. So it was still pretty surreal to see Rivers out there. But before we get to the rest of the NFL, and I'm glad we're kind of getting warmed up here without the resistance band. Shout out to Anthony Richardson. We're kind of getting going here with the hot takes. So let's just get started with Compas on the LA beat here. And we'll start with that massive victory at Arrowhead Stadium for the Chargers against the Chiefs, 16-13. And I got worried for Dan's team at the end there, because Mahomes was going to do Mahomes things. And then that insane interception from Deion Henley to pick off Mahomes. And then Mahomes pretty much destroyed his knee there. So, kind of a wild turn of events there. And I'll let you start here, Fernando, because you're the one that covers this team. What's the sense out of this game? Were you surprised they pulled it off? Not really, after the gritty performance and the way the game script went Jim Harbaugh's way.
Well, I remember I asked Derwin after the game against the Raiders, and I said, was that an anomaly what happened in Jacksonville? He's like, oh, that's a one-off. Like, you guys haven't seen anything yet. And ever since he told me that, they've stepped it up. They're hitting guys. They're taking guys out. Derwin's hitting. Tony Jefferson has added a different level of toughness to this team that you haven't seen from this Chargers team since Sean Merriman, Sean Phillips, Quentin Jammer, all these guys that were out there. That was a Chargers, like, aggressive defense. They haven't had that. Now they're starting to get that the last 2 weeks where these guys are flying around, they're making plays. They were able to take down the two teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, and they were able to stop both teams and hold them to less than 20 points. I mean, holding both of those teams to less than 20 points in each of the games is crazy. I do know. I think it was they've sacked both quarterbacks combined 5 times. They've had 6 interceptions the last 2 games. I mean, you can add Gardner Minshew in there, obviously, but the defense is flying around. The offense is doing the bare minimum right now, which, I mean, is a little bit concerning, but they are running the football. They are being physical on the offensive side. It seems like ever since they put Jamari Sawyer at left tackle, they've been able to move the ball more efficiently. The one thing, Gilbert and Vic, that I'll tell you guys is that yesterday the rookies were the ones that showed out. Trey Harris made that huge grab right before halftime. Then Keandre Lambert-Smith catches that other pass. Oronde Gadsden had a little bit more than 60 yards receiving. And then Omari and Hampton ran the ball really well. So if the Chargers can add the rookies to this offense, along with getting Ladd McConkey needs to get going again. I mean, they haven't had Ladd go. He hasn't gotten going lately. I think ever since the bye week, all 3 receivers, Keenan, Ladd, and Quentin, are kind of still trying to get their footing in this offense. And it seems now the rookies are the ones showing out. So they need to find a perfect balance. But I feel like this is championship level defense that they're playing. And it seems like Jim has these guys believing that they can beat anybody no matter where they go or who they play. And that means a lot. I mean, especially when you have a head coach like that, because Derwin, Justin, these guys have had the Brandon Staley's. They've had other coaches where one player told me this, you might as well put a clown nose on the guy. So they don't have that anymore. They have a different level of head coach in there that has them believing. Jesse Minter has them scheming up some great plays. Greg Roman, there's still a lot that he could do, but they're playing well. So I was really impressed. I thought they were going to lose yesterday. I thought this has a perfect makings of a charging game, and they didn't. They haven't charged all season. Most of the season, they've pretty much held it down, and they're 8-2 in the conference. They're 5-0 in the division, and they're playing good football right now. So they have been impressive. Again, if you're going to point out one side, the offense needs to perform better. But I feel like the more they go, the healthier that left hand gets for Justin, because you can tell. And my bad for going a little bit long, but these last 2 games you've seen, he hasn't been able to throw the ball with the same zip because he can't grip it with the other hand to let it rip. As soon as he's able to get that going and get it healthier, I think you're going to see better balls. But yesterday, he threw one that looked like a duck, but he threw it so hard that it got there to Oronde Gadsden. I don't know how he got it there, but yeah, no, I think they're getting hot at the right time. This doesn't look like the same team from last year. Their defense wasn't as strong last year as it is this year, and they do look like they're a team that could definitely get at least one playoff win and win Dan one more game, especially because he has his bets out there. But no, they do look they do look stronger. They look more confident than they did last year at this point.
Vic won't give me credit, but I did pick the Chargers at the SI pick 'em challenge. I got the Chargers. So
I
there's
did
no
not
curse.
see that. I apologize, Gilbert.
Oh, come on. And one thing that I want to respond to what you said, Fernando, and you got me thinking here. You know, I think it does make sense that Trey Harris and KLS and Gadsden were more involved at Arrowhead, because I felt like against Philly, the guys who need to be more like in a structure, offense, quick timing, rhythm, route running, come out very quickly and smooth, is Keenan and Ladd. And when you have a banged up quarterback with one hand and then a banged up O-line, it's kind of like a chaos offense. So you're kind of playing backyard football where you're throwing it up for lobs for the bigger guys. And those guys don't need to be in a structure, route running, play. So I think it kind of makes sense. And I like that, let's give Roman some credit. He's starting to use those guys. So the big body guys now are just throw it up, go make a play. Because Herbert's been at least good enough to be mobile to, get away from some of this pressure. Go use a catch radius for these guys. I love seeing it. And they're thriving in ugly football. So when I saw 16-13, oh man, this game is made for the Chargers here. So, And I don't know if you want to go ahead.
You know that's how you win. Like, how many times haven't we seen the Chiefs last year? All 3 games that they played in the playoffs, it was all ugly football. There wasn't like a really like a cute, nice game. That when you get in the playoffs, there are no nice, cute games. Like everything's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, they actually won or at least went to a Super Bowl playing that way last year because their offense hasn't been good for a while. People forget that it's been more of the defense, and they like to make it muddy. So to beat them at their own game at Arrowhead says a lot. But Vic, I don't know what your takeaway is, but I don't know what it is, and maybe after Victor talks, Fernando could get to it. I don't know how this defense just figured it out because they were pretty much bad for a couple, I don't know, a month or two. Like that, the 3-0 start seems like the last time they were this good. They have figured it out. And I think Mentor's defense is starting to show out again.
Yeah, and I'll start off with this in terms of the defense, and I think going into the bye really helped them. Also, having to face the Raiders was the perfect medicine for this defense. And I'll say this:
those guys played their ass off yesterday. They didn't give up. They played their ass off.
Those Raiders.
Yeah. I was like, wait, where is he going with this? That took me a little bit there, but you're right. That's there, Fernando.
They heal all wounds.
Yeah, and in terms of this game, I was gonna say the Texans pretty much gave you the blueprint to how to beat this Chiefs offense, and it was just physicality. And I don't understand where all this hate is coming from in terms of the Chargers defense and how they're dirty. It's just physical football. You started to see a lot of the receivers get alligator arms because they just were getting hit hard. And one of the things we've seen this season is like, okay, you're gonna run those crossers. We're gonna intimidate you physically, and that's what the last 2 defenses have done, the Chargers and the Houston Texans. And I thought that was a great recipe here for the Chargers defense. And then offensively for the Chargers, one of the things that I saw that Keenan Allen leads the league in 3rd down receptions, which I thought blew my mind for somebody who has been doing it for so long. And the fact that you're using him, now with these young guys, I think really helps. And I thought Fernando laid it out beautifully there. I think what is happening here is the fact that they're allowing Herbert to heal his hand because he's not 100%. As he said with that duck, like, I don't know how that ball got to Orlando Gaston there, but he made it work. And without him and that defense, they don't win this game.
Yeah, Fernando, anything else you want to add on the Chargers side before I get to the Chiefs eliminated standpoint?
No, I think Tony Jefferson is the kind of player that I think he's been around teams before where he's kind of seen like, hey, with the Ravens, like he even said the other day, Herbert's the best quarterback I've ever played with. And I thought, oh, I wonder if somebody in Baltimore will not be happy about that. But I think he's seen what they need to do to get to a Super Bowl. I mean, I know he's never been to one, but he's fallen short. He went to that NFC. He was with the Cardinals in that NFC Championship against the Cam Newton-led Carolina Panthers that blew them out. And I'm sure he knows, hey, my window's starting to close. I need to get a Super Bowl. And some of these other guys, Keenan Allen, that's what he told me. I feel like we have a chance to win a Super Bowl. But the one thing I will say, Tuli Tuipulotu has really turned it on this year. 12 sacks for the Chargers. And he's one of those pass rushers that nobody's mentioning, nobody even talks about, which I'm pretty impressed with. But he has 12 sacks. On the other side, Odafe Oiwe came in with 0 sacks 5 games into the season when he got traded. He has 7 sacks in 9 games, and he's been an athletic freak for these guys. So I think that pass rushing duo with what Khalil Mack is doing, every play that you see an interception, Khalil is in the face of the quarterback, and that's the reason why they're doing that. So I definitely think that they're pretty impressive. And by the way, I love that Tony, because I mean, I've known Tony our whole lives. For Tony to it really, and I'll tell you right now, that's not the Tony that I know flipping off the crowd. Like I think he really got into the moment, and he's like, I'm gonna be a bad guy, I don't care, and he stuck him up. But that's not Tony. That's just not the way Tony has ever been. So I was pretty surprised when I saw him flash up the 2 1s up there. I was like, wow, okay, but that's just what they feel like they're aggressive. They feel like they're not talked about. I mean, today on Rich Eisen's show, him and the one of his co-hosts were like, well, the best case scenario for the Patriots is the Chargers come up there and play. are you sure that's who you want to play? Like, if you're the Patriots, you want to have the Chargers go up there and play you? Like, I don't think that's who you want to square up against. But I mean, I get it with Houston and Buffalo and some of these other teams. I get it, but I think the Chargers are one of those teams that I don't think some of these teams are going to want to play them because of their aggressiveness. Like Jacksonville, I know that's been kind of the house of horrors for the Chargers, but I think playoff Chargers might be different going down to Jacksonville. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to be a different team come playoff time, and I feel like right now is when they're starting to get into that playoff mode. I'm interested to see what they're going to do against Dallas, because Dallas is essentially what you're going to face when you an offense like that is what you're going to face when you face the Broncos or the Bills or even Jacksonville. Like, those are the kind of style of offenses that you're going to face. So that's going to be a good test for their defense.
Yeah, I told Victor last week that I really think Jim Harbaugh is like, I guess personality is really rubbing off on the players. Like, I know the whole, Herbert being rude to Laura Rutledge was the whole thing, but I'm like, maybe he doesn't care about what he does anymore because of Jim Harbaugh's in his ear saying, like,
I
man,
heard the real
do
story
you?
on that.
If
That
you want to
wasn't who they
share?
were supposed to, that wasn't the person that she was supposed to talk to.
Okay, I get that, but
Yeah. No, and I mean, yeah, go ahead.
it's just like, even if you say he was an accident jerk or whatever, like I feel like Herbert just doesn't even care anymore, which I'm like, that's okay, be you. And I think that's a Jim Harbaugh effect. Like, same thing with Jefferson. You just mentioned he does not do things like that where he's waving the finger at opposing fans. It's like, I think Harbaugh's like, man, this is your chance to go be the bad guy and knock out the reigning 3-time AFC champions at their house. Go seize the moment. I bet you he was talking that up. He is the ultimate confidence booster. He is the ultimate who cares how you win. And yeah, like he it's funny because when you hear him at the podium, he doesn't sound like this, like, bad guy, shit talker, MFer, but behind the scenes he's gonna be doing that, like saying, you know what,
Oh, yeah.
just he's telling your ear, like, you know what they said about you, you know what happened. And I know the Harbaugh thing kind of gets old after 4 seasons, but for those damn 4 seasons, they win a lot of freaking games. It freaking works. And I think you saw everything on full display. Like, you cannot be a rival when the Chiefs are winning the division every single year. They're going to the conference title game every single year. They're beating the crap out of you every single year. There's now a rivalry because they swept them for the first time since 2012. I lost track, Fernando. So that's the whole. That's the Jim Harbaugh effect. Everybody crapping about Greg Roman. Everybody crapping about the O-line. Everybody saying what happened to Jesse Mentor's defense. At the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh style is winning freaking games. One loss in how many weeks? And we're over here making a big deal of this team. I'm kind of tired of it, Fernando, as you could tell here. So let's move forward with
real
Chiefs.
quick. And this Harbaugh is different than his brother. This one played. He knows what he needs to get out of these players to get their intensity up. I mean, John has gone to a Super Bowl. He's won it as a coach. But this Harbaugh is able to unlock something in these players where they're not going to quit. They're not going to give up. So, but yeah, that I'm ready to move on as well. But good talk.
We do not want to face this team in the playoffs with Jim Harbaugh leading the charge, and especially these guys embracing the bad guy role, running the football, playing defense. You got a star quarterback. So it's everything is coming
Can
up.
I start
great
this one off?
Go ahead. Chiefs eliminated from playoff contention thanks to the Chargers.
Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL. Now, the one thing I'm getting tired of, and I know Vic listens more to mainstream as I do. Like, we listen to some of that stuff. Gilbert, I think you're more, you don't really listen to all that stuff. But I cannot stand the fact that everybody's like, well, Tom Brady tore his ACL in year 9 the same way that Patrick just did. Do you guys understand that when they went on that second dynasty, the Patriots, Bill Belichick was 57 years old. He was not like Andy Reid is going to evaluate. I'm telling you guys right now, he's going to sit down.
He's
going to say, okay, I'm going to lose Travis Kelce. We're $40 million over the cap next year. I need to fix and by the way, everybody's saying they need to fix this offensive line. They don't. Their offensive line is one of the strongest points. You just have injuries. They need to fix their defensive line. They need to fix their linebacking core. They need to fix the secondary. Like, there's other places that they're going to need to fix. But Andy's going to sit down and he's going to evaluate. And I'm not going to have my quarterback for probably half of the year, if not the first 5 or 6 games he's going to miss. Do I really want to come back to all this? And Andy Reid's going to have a conversation with himself, and I wonder what he's going to do. But for people to say that this is Tom Brady 2.0, it's not. There is way different circumstances. he did not have Aaron Hernandez or Rob Gronkowski during that first run. He got them later in 2012, and that's when that whole offense changed for them. So for people to come out and say, well, if Tom Brady did it, Patrick can do it too. No, Patrick's about to go through something completely different where his head coach is going to retire in the next 2 years, if not earlier. And then it's going to be interesting to see who comes in. Because I keep on seeing Matt Nagy. Everybody keeps on saying, well, that's why Matt Nagy's going to stay. He's the predecessor. I don't know. I already saw Matt Nagy try this once before, and it didn't work out. So I'm interested to see how it goes. But let's just stop that narrative. But Gilbert and Vic, I'll let you guys go because I think it's lazy to say, oh, he's going to just be Tom Brady 2.0. That's not true. Patrick was very reckless with the ball this year. He threw a lot of picks that you're just like, whoa, what's going on? So, oh my God. Oh my God. And then the profile picture. Oh my God.
Shout out to,
is that Jorge?
Yeah, Jorge.
I think that's Jorge.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, Jorge. Yeah. But go ahead, Gilbert and Vic.
Yeah, I'm just glad, Fernando, you called it like I'm seeing it, because I'm also annoyed with the comparisons between Tom Brady and Mahomes. And credit to you for saying the second dynasty. People are trying to pretend like Tom Brady had a 20-year dynasty. Like, they didn't win a Super Bowl for 10 years. And we're just saying like, oh, they dominated from 2000 and 2020 or whatever. Like, the same thing with assuming that Mahomes is going to be fine. No, they're not gonna just copy the same thing as the Patriots. And if they do, it took them 10 years to win a Super Bowl again. I know they won a couple of times. They lost in 2007. They lost in 2011 to Eli Manning. But as Tom Brady, it took forever. Once that first dynasty ended, it took them a long time, and you were on it. Like, they had to go through a crappy year with the Matt Castle season when he tore his ACL. They went through kind of a so-so year in 2010, and then that draft where they got Gronk and Hernandez, we can't say his name, and a bunch of other guys that kind of became part of the second core group here. So, the Chiefs in a way have already done the reinvention when they got rid of Tyreek Hill and they went to more defensive things. So I want to say it's kind of part 3 of the Chiefs Mahomes era. But it's going to be a long battle to get back to the top. And I'll say this, and you can go after this, Victor. I think Mahomes should really take the year off. Like, what he did to start his career has not really been seen before. A guy like Tom Brady. Like, I don't think the year after they won the Super Bowl against the Rams, and I just remember that. I totally forgot. The year after they beat the Rams in 2001, they missed the playoffs altogether in 2002. So he didn't have that 8-year streak that Mahomes had for going to an AFC title game. Like, let the guy rest. Don't bring him back. Don't rush him for the start of camp. If he misses like the first half of the season, so be it. Bring a new group, bring a young guy, and then let him kind of develop with them, in November and December when the season's pretty much over. Like, don't rush him for week 1 for what? And then Travis Kelce's probably going to retire. Go ahead and you're like, Kelce, you're pretty much done. You cannot be the focal point of this offense. Go enjoy your life with Taylor Swift. Go enjoy the podcast. I'm also pretty annoyed that, this is like when I talk. Yes, I'm pissed off. I get it. When I talk, I'm being a biased reporter where I want things my way. When I say things like, oh, Herbert was being rude to Laura Rutledge, yeah, that's the reporter in me saying the job as a quarterback, you talk to the reporter. Travis Kelce avoiding the media for the last 2 years after every loss because he wants to save it for his podcast. That annoys me. Whatever. Just go be the influencer you want to be, Travis Kelce. And that's no knock. You've done everything in your career. Don't come back to a rebuild. That it's gonna happen. Like, Chiefs fans, you're gonna be in denial. Think it's gonna be a quick fix. It's not gonna be a quick fix. And let Mahomes rest for a damn year. It's gonna be fine. He's gonna be a top quarterback in 2027. But don't come back too early. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I that's a great point by you there. And I guess my biggest takeaway is the excuses we're starting to see now. It's like, it's like, yeah, well, this is what you get when, you play almost a full season with all the playoff games and, they look tired. You could have seen this, especially after the first game. And I'm just like, yeah, but a lot when we brought it up, it was like, yeah, no, this is the Chiefs, until they lose, blah, blah, blah. And now you're trying to see it. And it's like, the cracks were there, and even Gilbert was like, yeah, I see them. Like, I have no faith in this team anymore. And it was like, I guess we just have to wait until they lose, until to see all the excuses come out. And it's like I just don't understand why it's like this deep with this team. Like I even saw somebody say, "Oh, this is easy as the most hated dynasty." I was like, the Patriots weren't like. There's a lot of dynasties in football. Like there hasn't been a lot, but
I'm sure
like
people hated the Cowboys
Cowboys,
and
the
like, yeah.
49ers, like if you weren't a fan of them, they weren't likable. So it's just it's time. And I saw
I
Rich
think
Eisen
people, I think people like the original dynasty of the Patriots because like 9/11 had just happened, so everybody was kind of like,
yeah, that's true.
okay, we're united, this, that. But
But the
then
second
that
one was
second
hated.
dynasty, yeah, everybody was kind of like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah,
can this guy, like, especially that Falcons game, everybody was
yeah.
pissed.
Even
Like,
the ones when they're
dude,
trying to be
even,
Eli Manning, they were
yeah,
hated, and they were
well,
not winning Super Bowls.
even last night, people were celebrating that. They're like, "Oh, Patriots fans were like, oh, what happened to the excuses that we haven't played anybody?" And I'm like, dude, you guys should know better than somebody. Don't tweet at halftime. Wait till the game's over, and then the game gets turned around. So all
Yeah.
these Bills fans went at the Patriot fans, and I'm like, yeah, you guys should have waited. Like, what are we doing? But go ahead. You said Rich Eisen, what?
Yeah, even Rich Eisen. I mean, he was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna miss the cheese, in
Oh, I
Mahomes
heard
in the
that
playoffs."
baloney.
And I'm
No,
like,
you're not.
they're
I'm good.
not, man. I think people are they have cheese fatigue. It's time for a new, for new guys. Like, and I think that's been my biggest problem is like with a lot of the media, the national media is like let these young guys finally have their chance. Like instead of pushing the young guys that were like Lawrence and Herbert and a lot of these other guys like May, like why are we still stuck on Mahomes? And I'm with Gilbert. Like maybe him being away for like a year, kind of like what you see in music or even directors, like taking a year off and getting off the limelight really helps people kind of like, oh, that was cool that he went through all that and he came back stronger. So it might be something that they probably need to do, but I don't
Yeah.
understand how this what we're seeing today. It was just a love fest.
Yeah, let's pick up the pace here because
Yep.
what do we have? Oh, Steelers, Dolphins tonight. So we want to rush to that, but yeah, let's get to the Rams' big time victory against the Lions. I won't touch too much on this. I'm gonna give you guys the flow here, but the Rams' offense, man, what a juggernaut! 41-34 against the Lions. They pretty much cruise after overcoming a 24-14 setback. That I think it was a field goal before halftime really set the tone here, but you know Victor or Fernando, go ahead. But this one, what does it say to you? Like to me, I found out this is the best offense in football.
I'll let Fernando go. We kind of said what we said in House of Horns, so I actually want to hear his perspective on this.
Let me get 2 minutes and I'll jump back on. Right, you
Okay,
guys started off.
all right then. I'll go here, and I'll just say this, Gilbert. I think you're starting to kind of see how well rounded this team is, Gilbert. And as we talked about, yes, are there deficiencies with the secondary? Yes, that's pretty obvious, especially when you saw what the Lions did to them. But offensively, man, like we talked about the fact that Devontae Adams is week to week, which we talked about, and we said if we're the Rams, just rest him the rest of the way until you get to the playoffs. That should give you about 4 to 5 weeks. He's a veteran. He knows how to take care of himself. He'll be ready to go for the first playoff game. But it just also tells you, like we talked about too, it made me think about the Puka injury. Like what they've done is whenever they've had an injury, it's they've been able to evolve, whether it's been through 13 personnel, 12 personnel, like Colby Parkinson coming out of nowhere and having 6 touchdowns in the last 6 games. It just tells you how much this offense can evolve. And I thought a big thing the last 2 weeks, Gilbert, they're running the ball more. And I told you it's been kind of weird because even Sean McVay got sick, and they had the offensive coordinator there run the plays against the Cardinals, and they had their best rushing performance. So even when the coaches are going down, they've been able to evolve. So I think that's been the most impressive thing to see.
Yeah, if they handle business on Thursday and beat the Seahawks, I know they're still in a tight race, so you have to win the last 2 games, because they want to be up one, and because there's still a chance. But you're pretty much, playing with house money to get the number one seed and win the division. But if they handle business like we're all expecting, because Sam Darnold hasn't been played well, this offense could definitely put up points on Seattle. I do want to see the adjustments made for both sides, because I felt like the Seahawks figured them out in the second half, but the Rams offense has gotten better since that first meeting. So we're going to find out a lot. But, when they play the Falcons and they play the Cardinals to end the year, if they win, I would like to see them kind of experiment with the defense, because that's the last thing. If you could get some pressure on the quarterback, can you find ways to help out your secondary? Because to me, that's going to be the weakness of this team. So, I think, maybe that's what they're doing, Vic, is, waiting until the playoffs rolls around to unleash the pass rushers. Or maybe you don't, because you want to play, sound run defense. But to me, that's a little concerning. But I think you're onto something when you say they're playing more for the matchup in the scheme for what they do best. So, but I got to see more from Jared Verse. I got to see more from Kobe Turner and Brandon Fisk. But hey, the run defense has not been anywhere near as bad as last year. It's just the secondary is still a problem for, like, I feel like the third year in a row. It seemed like that was never going to get fixed here. But there are ways to overcome it. Run the football, control the clock, and go rush the passer. So this team has all the tools to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, especially
I am
Go ahead, Fernando.
on the Rams side of things. I was impressed by them. They keep on finding ways to win again, like we're saying about the Chargers. Thing again, I'm going to harp on is that there are times where Sean McVay stops running the football, and I feel like they need to run the football more efficiently. I think they have two good backs that they could do a lot with. I thought yesterday was impressive. Again, just making these crazy passes that I don't know where he finds the steam for them, but he's the one that does all the nitty gritty. Devontae scores a touchdown, so I'm interested to see what their offense is going to look like on Thursday without him. But no, I think Matthew Stafford has to be the leading candidate for the MVP. I just don't know how you give it to anybody else. I think he's playing really good football. He's taking command of that offense. And for a guy that everybody was making fun of him because he had a broken back and they had to bring in a trailer and they had to nurse his back every single day and he missed training camp, he's carrying that team pretty well. Maybe that's why he has a broken back. But I agree with you, Gilbert, that defense, again, it's not clicking the way we expected it to click. Maybe in the playoffs it will, but right now they're giving up points. They're letting the big teams kind of take advantage of them. But again, I'm still impressed with the Rams. I still think they're one of the better teams in the NFC. Now on the other side, the Lions, I've told you, Gilbert, I'm very concerned about the Lions. They're a team that concerns me. They don't have a good defense. They rely too much on Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams to make a huge splash play, and they rely too much on Amon-Ra St. Brown. That team needs more around them than just those guys. So I am concerned about the Lions moving forward. Their one saving grace is if the Bears' schedule catches up to them, and the Lions can run the table, but I just see that as very hard. I think the game that everybody wants to see at the end of the season is a win and get in. When it comes to Lions Bears, that last game, I think everybody wants to see that on Sunday Night Football. Let's get in and who is left out. But I definitely think that the Lions should be nervous right now, and Lions fans should be nervous because they are not playing the same brand of football they were a year ago.
I'm glad you brought up the NFC North, because I want to discuss this Micah Parsons injury, and then we'll end with Phillip Rivers, and we'll get to Monday Night Football. But yeah, man, without Micah Parsons, who it was confirmed today that he tore his ACL in the loss against Denver. And I'll put it this way: like, the Broncos jumped out to, I want to say, either a 10-point lead or a 9-point lead. I lost track, and they were looking well, and like they were on the point of fighting for the #1 seed. You're about to beat Denver in Denver. People were saying you were the favorite against a team that won 10 or 11 games, and then you lose the lead. You lose a Michael Parsons for the season. You lose the game, and you fall to the 7th seed. That's how pivotal that game changed in a matter of seconds or an hour or whatever you want to say. So, they could probably miss the playoffs altogether, but I think because they have 9 wins, I think even a banged up Packer team could win 2 more games to make the playoffs, but they're not going to be a contender. I'm done with them. Their defense, outside of Michael Parsons, doesn't have a lot of on that front. Like, Rashawn Gary's going to be your #1 edge rusher. Good luck with that. Lucas Van Ness, who's been a bust since he was drafted in 2023. They have no pressure there.
He was talking shit to fans today on social media, by the way.
Oh, really? Because they were calling him out to do better, or what?
Yeah, because they're saying that his stats have dropped off, and every single year that's been in the league.
Yeah, but I'll give Jeff Hafley kind of some credit here. He's been good, but if you want to be a head coach in the NFL, Jeff Hafley, the DC of the Packers, go create pressure, go simulate with what you have on the roster, and then you're going to get a lot of attention for head coaching jobs. But to me, without Micah Parsons, man, this team is going to be where they were a year ago. Maybe they win one playoff game. I was really disappointed with Jordan Love. How dare you, after I give you credit, you lay an egg like that in the second half. I get it. Christian Watson wasn't there. And I don't know, maybe Love should be a fraud because he needs Watson on the field. He still had Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavius Wicks, and Luke Musgrave and Josh Jacobs, and that wasn't enough for you to do something as the Broncos. Big letdown for him after beating the Bears and beating the Lions back to back. But to me, they're not on my radar anymore. See you later.
I'll say
Yeah,
this.
I'm not very.
I want to
impressed
ask
either.
you guys who wins the division then now.
I think it's the Bears, Fernando. I know you're not high on them, but I think they just keep doing what Denver does by winning games. And Detroit's too far behind. I think Detroit could win the next 3 games, though, looking at their schedule. I forgot, but they're winnable. They could beat the Bears again. Now be 11 and something. So I don't think 3 teams make it in the NFC North. I don't think so. And I don't think San Francisco is going to fall behind, but I think it's Chicago.
Fernando?
It's Steelers at Lions, Lions at Vikings, Lions at Bears to end it.
Yeah, they could beat the Steelers, Vikings, and Bears, right? Okay, yeah, they could win those games.
And then the Bears have Packers there on Sunday Night Football. They go to the 49ers, and then the Lions come there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I think
tough.
they can beat the Packers without Michael Parsons, though. They played them pretty close.
I don't know. That's a very tough schedule. Shit, am I going to go Lions here?
That's what I wanted to ask.
Too far behind.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'll see the Packers hold on, to be honest.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but I don't like the Packers. Jordan Love just is so underwhelming. Yesterday I was watching the game and I thought, oh, hey, like I even texted you guys, WTF is Denver doing? Like when they went for it on 4th and 1, Packers stopped them. I'm like, what are you doing? You just gave them an opportunity to go win the game. And Jordan Love just didn't do anything. I'm like, really? Like you said, Gilbert, you still have some good receivers on that team. How could you not do anything with it? So I think Jordan Love still has some growing up to do. He has 1 or 2 really good games, but then he has 2 games where he really falls off. So I haven't been impressed with Jordan Love either.
All right, let's get to this. Phillip Rivers, who wants to go first here?
I'll let Fernando. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Fernando.
Yeah.
Well, I was impressed for the first few minutes. I was like, wow, he's standing in there. He's taking hits. I know he slipped in one of those. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I know the kids love saying that people have aura. I think Phillip kind of went in there with aura. I was very surprised at the way everybody kind of had their eyes on them. And I'll tell you guys one thing. In San Diego, they were going to give them Broncos Packers, and they ended up switching it, and they gave San Diego Seahawks and.
Did we lose?
We lost you.
We lost. Well, we get them back. Go ahead and you wrote about this. You said Rivers return shits light on lack of development for you, quarterback.
Yeah, it was fun to watch Rivers, but I know they almost pulled it up, but regardless, they still lost, and it was kind of like a last Hail Mary ditch. And I don't even care about the performance. It's kind of what I expected, and it was typical of a Rivers game to throw a duck at the end of a 1-score game to lose the game, because Rivers hasn't had the arm strength for years now. He has that weird hater. He's a good quarterback because
wait till they make the Disney movie on him.
They're gonna do some random, that Kurt Warner
like the
movie
rookie.
Yeah, they're gonna do something for Rivers playing with the old guys and coming in. It's definitely gonna be a movie here. But
oh yeah,
with Rivers.
Rivers is just not set up to push the ball when you need it at the end. Like, they were doomed there. I don't even know how the hell. I was watching a different game, and I'm like, they had the field goal. I'm like, how the hell is Seattle already upfield? They needed one more first down. They got the field goal. Jason Myers, man, he's a machine right now. People don't give him credit. I think he had like 6 field goals yesterday.
He had the record for most field goals in that game.
Yeah, he's been money all year. But anyways, the point is, and I got to be quick here, To me, people are crying about like Cam Newton. Oh, I'm so offended that they chose Rivers over a person like me who's younger, this and that. Like, are we ignoring the fact that Shane Steichen and Rivers worked together for over a decade? Are we ignoring the fact that Rivers already played on this team and has a lot of teammates still on that team? Are we ignoring the fact that Rivers has kept in contact daily with Shane Steichen and also have been running the playbook that he has in high school? Like, stop crying with the sour grapes and then, huh? Anyways, stop crying with the grapes about why you pick me and I'm retired. Or go call Colin Kaepernick. Like, shut up. Like, the situation was for Rivers and Steichen, and then go be mad if you're a young quarterback who got bypassed for a situation. Go be mad if you're a coach in the lower ranks who's saying who you're tasked to develop quarterbacks. These quarterbacks are coming to the NFL underdeveloped with the mind games. They don't know what's going on pre-snap and then post-snap. They don't know how to read a defense. You could be super talented like Caleb Williams, but if you don't know what's going on out there on the field, you're going to take a year or two to progress. Rivers already, made with the mind. He still has his mind. Just call an audible. See what you're seeing on the field. That gave him a chance. And people were saying Riley Leonard would have done better than 120 yards and 1 interception. Are you sure he could read what he saw from Mike McDonald? Come on. Like, to me, the bigger problem is develop quarterbacks better. That's why guys like Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, the fifth-year seniors are doing well right away because they're getting more time to develop, and the ones who are super talented coming out through the third year are struggling. That's it.
Real quick, Vic, I'll just finish my thought and I'm going to head out of here. But I really thought that that if they're going to beat the 49ers and save their wild card spot or making the playoffs, winning the division, whatever they want, Phillips is going to have to push the ball down the field. They were dependent too much on Jonathan Taylor yesterday. He had one really good zip to Ty Warren late in that game, which I thought was good. But they're going to need to do some other stuff. They can't just rely on screens and that underneath stuff to get them a victory. If they're going to want to win, they're going to have to push the ball down the field. And that's my last thing. But honestly, it was fun. It was fun to watch him. I love when he threw that touchdown. He got all fired up, and I'm not a big he was okay with me. I mean, he wasn't anything special. But I thought it was fun to watch it. So I'm going to head out of here, guys. Thank you, guys, and I'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
But
all right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Vic.
All right, Gilbert. Who you got tonight?
I got the Steelers who are out on the field right now, but yeah, I don't care anything about the Dolphins. I don't even care that they've won a bunch of games, So yeah, they'll probably win right now. And people are going to talk about Mike McDaniel sticking around, but I don't buy it.
Yeah. All right, Gilbert, go ahead and we'll let the people know what we got for them tomorrow, and then go ahead and close us out here.
Yeah, check out Four Compas. I'm not sure 100% we're going to have a guest, but if we do, we're going to break down an early preview of Rams Seahawks Part 2. Hopefully our special guest, which you could probably guess because he's a good friend, a good compa of the show. But Four Compas tomorrow, I'm going to say around 4:30. And then on Wednesday, we'll have our typical preview shows where we have more in-depth, more coverage of Seahawks, Rams, and then we'll have Chargers, Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys. Wow, interesting game for What's Up, both Dan and Fernando. But on that note, let's get out of here. Ya nos vamos, pues.